Why is my son not in school today? Is he sick? He has bad seasonal allergies this time of year. On bad days, I let him stay home to get some rest. And how long is he expected to stay home from school and miss an education because of seasonal allergies? Does he not have medication that can help with that? He does take a daily pill, but some days are worse than others. The pollen is really bad this time of year. I want you to take him to the pediatrician immediately. I will meet you there and we can confirm that this is allergies and not anything else. When we lived together, he did not have issues with allergies. That was a long time ago. He has had issues with allergies for the past 3 years. I am not taking him to a sick visit to expose him to actual sick children because you are unaware of our son's medical condition. You are denying my baby medical attention that he clearly needs if he is missing school. I do not take that lightly. If you are too busy to take him, my mother and I can do it. Which pediatrician does he go to? I will schedule an appointment. As stated, he is not sick. You can ask your mother about his allergies. She is very aware of the situation. Why are you avoiding telling me the name of his pediatrician? Does he not have a pediatrician? I am uncomfortable by the fact that you are withholding important information. He's been to the same pediatric clinic since he was born. You signed him up for there. I figured you would remember that. How was I supposed to know that? You have failed to keep me informed. Since having a bad day today? Yeah, he left his window cracked last night and breathed in all that pollen while he slept. He's feeling it today for sure. Poor guy. Look, I get things are tense right now, but I still want to keep doing what I always have for him. And whenever he has a bad day or gets sick, I've always brought him soup from the Chinese food place. Am I still able to do that? Yes, of course. And I can't tell you who you can or cannot have in the car with you. I know that. But son will not be coming outside to get the soup, so this isn't a drive-by meet and greet. You can bring it inside to him, and Elaine can stay in the car if she's with you. This is silly, but okay. I just hope you realize that the court won't let you keep her away forever now that she's back. Thank you for letting me bring him his soup. Where is he? He's laying in bed in my room with Arya watching some show. You can go ahead in there. Is Elaine in the car? Yes, but she won't be getting out. She is sobbing right now. Honestly, it's heartbreaking. I'm sure she's upset about not being allowed in, but it will get to that point over time. He just needs some time. Oh, that's not the issue. She didn't realize you still live in the house you bought when you two were together. She thought you would sell it or move. I think she just realized that you have another woman living here, and it got to her. Well, I wasn't going to sell a perfectly good house. And I wasn't about to pack up and move myself and a little toddler either. It's not you, it's her. How could you stand living in that house with another woman instead of me? All the memories we have together in that house. And you have tarnished it all by bringing the home wrecker into it. Arya isn't a home wrecker. You know that. There's no reason to say it. Do you sleep with her on the same bed we conceived son in? Did you let her keep my clothes so she can wear them and pretend to be me as well? I bet you gave her my hairbrush and toothbrush and everything. You just inserted a random woman into the empty space. You don't even care about her. You just needed to fill the void. And there are major issues regarding you allowing some trashy woman to lay in bed with our son. That is too comfortable of her. She has no boundaries regarding my baby. We can discuss that in court. I don't know what kind of sick and twisted game you're playing in my house, but there is no reason for you to be cuddled up in bed with my child. How could you even begin to think that is appropriate? Laying and taking a nap with another woman's child. I would never. That's generally what you do with a partner, never a child. Son likes having his head rubbed when he has issues with his allergies. It helps make him feel better. There's no reason to be upset about a parent caring for a child. You aren't a parent. My God, you are dense. This will be discussed in court. I get you got to play house for the past few years, but I'm back now. So it's time for you to remember your place, or you're going to have to leave. I'll assume that the lack of response means you agree. How is my son? Hello. I am trying to get an update on my child's health. How is he feeling? This is my third attempt to contact you about son. You do not get to ignore me when I have valid questions about his medical needs. Calm down. It was 20 minutes. I was in the shower. Son is fine. His allergy medicine is helping a lot more today, and he should be back to normal soon. Sore throat from the drainage, but that's all. If he has a sore throat, he may have strep or tonsil stones. You need to get him checked. It's just drainage. He had his tonsils taken out last year, so stones aren't the issue, and he doesn't have a fever. He had to have surgery. Yes. Nobody could get in contact with you. I had a phone number, you know. You see, this is the problem with you. You say that kind of shit about how everyone tried to contact me, but no one could get in touch. And in all reality, you never even tried. You never fought for me. This isn't about you. Look outside of yourself for a minute. You're now complaining about not knowing when son had minor surgery, but when did you ever call to check on him? Not once. So maybe stop crying victim and saying no one fought for you when you didn't even fight for your own child. You did this to yourself. Stop yelling at me. You're scaring me, Phil. You have been acting unhinged since I came back. Is son even safe around you if this is the way you treat his mother? You never acted like this before. Good morning. I am reaching out in regards to the upcoming hearing pertaining to the custody of my client's son. My client is wishing to attempt to settle outside of court. Would your client be interested in coming to an agreement this way? I have spoken to my client, and he is willing to listen to what you and your client are prepared to offer. He is also fine with going through the court system if he does not agree to the request. My client is willing to take state minimum every other weekend visitation, alternating holidays, and 1 month out of the summer vacation. She is willing to allow your client to remain the primary caregiver. She is only requesting that your client help her foster a healthy relationship with the child by discouraging the child from calling other females mom, and that your client's fine be removed from any involvement in the child's schooling so she may feel comfortable participating in. My client is not interested in this agreement. We will pass. What is your client requesting? Perhaps we can meet in the middle. He will be legally granted sole physical and legal custody of the child, as he has acted in that manner since your client abandoned the child. Your client will be allowed one 15-minute FaceTime call every 3 days with son. Your client will attend therapy and parenting classes, as well as submit to random Dr. Zero grand screenings at my client's request. If she can prove that she is stable and safe, once the child has a comfortable attachment to her, we can discuss visits. I think we can both agree that is a completely unreasonable request. What is unreasonable is not speaking to your child for his entire life and then expecting unsupervised visits. As I stated, we will pass on the offer and settle. I wish you would reconsider this whole court thing. You have no idea how terrible of a position you put me in. I love you as a son, and you are a wonderful father, but she's my baby girl and she's finally back home. I have to help her. I understand that this is difficult for you, but please understand that I have to act in the best interest of son. I know how Elaine is, and she will pull him in and make him love her with promises she can't keep, only to abandon him again when things get hard. I won't let that happen. Maybe she won't do that. She seems positive she is going to stay in town. She got a job at the bank the other day. She didn't want me to tell you, but I figured it might help you realize she's wanting to stay. Maybe isn't good enough. Son is stable and happy. Court is now in session to determine a custody agreement in regards to the son of Elaine and Phil. We will begin with the petitioner. What is your client requesting from the courts? Thank you, Your Honor. My client is requesting sole physical and legal custody of the child. He is understanding that the mother is wanting to reestablish herself in the child's life and is willing to help with this as long as the child is kept at top priority. What does that look like to your client? My client is requesting a step-up program. He would like to introduce the child to the mother through FaceTime calls first, after the mother has completed Dr. Zero Gram's testing and a psychological evaluation. Once the child feels more comfortable and the mother has shown she is not planning on leaving again, he is open to supervised meetings. On what grounds are you requesting a psychological evaluation? Your Honor, the other party abandoned her 5 and 1-year-old son and did not return for 7 years. The fact of the matter is, no one knows where she was and what she did the entire time besides herself. My client is simply wanting to protect the child from mental distress. I see. If the mother did in fact abandon the child, why did your client never file for abandonment? He has never sought child support or assistance of any kind. As she never made contact, and he was financially stable enough to not need support or assistance, he did not feel the need to try and legally come after her. He was also unaware that he should have filed for abandonment. Ma'am, is there an explanation of why your client left her child for years? Of course, Your Honor. My client left abruptly due to what she believed to be undiagnosed postpartum depression. She felt as though she was a danger to herself and possibly her child. She knew that if she stayed in town, she would go back home before she was ready and safe to be around. So she found a treatment center across the country and headed there. I'm sorry, but you are saying your client has been in a treatment center since the child was 1 year old. Of course not. She found through therapy at the center that while she did suffer from postpartum depression, she was also a victim of a toxic and, frankly, emotionally abusive relationship. She got a job to earn money to support herself and get her child back, but due to the after effects of the father's Abu Dhabi, she was unable to be in a position to raise the money to make it home and fight him in court. I'm sorry, but can you please explain how my client is simply so Abu Dhabi that he was able to keep her from earning money while he lived on the other side of the country? Your client kept my client from working for most of the relationship. She had no savings and nothing in her name when she left besides the engagement ring she pawned for shelter and food. She, like most battered women, was unable to step into a high-paying job. She had to start from the ground up, waiting tables and going to school at night. And she never gave up, just as the courts should not give up on her ability to be the best mother for her child. Are you able to provide evidence that your client attempted to stay in contact with the child at least while she was away? Unfortunately, I am not. She was too afraid of the backlash from the father if she reached out. I am sure this mother has struggled, but the courts must look at the best interest of the child. This includes the mental well-being of the child. I will not grant custody of a child to a complete stranger, and as there is no evidence showing that the mother attempted contact in all these years, I will not jump to in-person meetings. I will be granting the father's requested step-up plan. He will retain sole custody of the child for the time being. The mother will be granted to FaceTime calls a week for the next 2 months. I am also ordering random Dr. Zero grand screenings at the request of the father, and a psychological evaluation of the mother to be performed before we reconvene in 2 months to reevaluate. As the child is not on any government assistance, no child support is ordered. This may be requested at any time.